The Firm, India's only show on corporate law, tax and audit matters.
Marks & Spencer can set up stores in India but not sell online via its own Indian website. Amazon cannot sell the Kindle directly on Amazon.in. Indian retailers have to buy the Kindle from Amazon, then pay Amazon a fee to sell it on the Amazon India website, storing the Kindle at an Amazon warehouse and using Amazon logistics to deliver it to the consumer. Hello and welcome to The Firm. Today we focus on the absurdities of India's FDI in retail policy and the battle between big box and .com. The Retailers Association of India, that represents brick-and-mortar stores or offline stores, has filed a petition in the Delhi High Court asking for a level playing field with online retailers. You see, FDI in brick-and-mortar retail is restricted and conditional. For instance, only 51% FDI is permitted in a multi-brand retailer. And it comes with several stipulations. A minimum $100 million foreign investment. Of that, 50% or a minimum $50 million must be invested in back-end infrastructure. A minimum 30% of the goods sold must be sourced from small and medium-sized businesses in India. And retail sales outlets can only be set up in cities with a population of 10 lakhs and more. That too, if the state government is willing to permit FDI in retail in its state. Now, even after having jumped through all these hoops, an FDI-funded multi-brand retailer cannot sell online. But I can argue that life is not much easier for the e-commerce guys because selling online to customers is not permitted in India. So you're wondering, how come Flipkart, Snapdeal, Amazon and all these others are in business? Well, because they've adopted a marketplace model. That means they don't sell products to customers. They only provide the website through which manufacturers and Indian retailers can sell their wares. And they provide the warehousing, the payment mechanisms, the home delivery, and even accept returns. In short, they do everything but own the products that are sold on their websites. So the Retailers Association of India, or RAI, argues that even this marketplace model is illegal, that the government is arbitrarily and discriminatingly choosing to treat B2C e-commerce as B2B e-commerce, and that it ought to remove these restrictions on FDI in brick-and-mortar retail and allow these retailers to adopt the marketplace model as well. Joining me today on this debate is Kumar Rajgopalan, the CEO of the Retailers Association of India. We have Ganesh Krishnan, serial entrepreneur and promoter of BigBasket.com, and Paresh Parekh, the head of the retail practice at EY. Gentlemen, to all three of you, a warm welcome. Before we get into the big box versus .com debate, can I argue, Kumar, that FDI policy, whether it applies to a Marks & Spencer or an Amazon.in, is vague and confusing and obstructive for both?
Absolutely. Our whole issue with the government and the reason why we raised it up is that today the laws are not able to recognize the fact that the world is going omni-channel, the world is going multi-channel, and the laws that are applicable in one form is not the same as the other one on the first hand. On the other hand, it's getting more and more confusing for our members, irrespective of whether they want to go online or offline, to know which is the real policy that they'll need to adhere to. So there has to be one common policy, and that's what we're asking for. We're asking for a level playing field.
Ganesh, you would agree with me when I say that FDI policy is regressive, whether it's the policy tailored for brick and mortar or the policy that applies to e-commerce?
Yeah, it is regressive and it is completely confusing. Okay, right? And add to that, there is a central government involved, there is a state involved. So it is a complete mess, and it doesn't help whether it's online or offline players. This state of confusion and mess and lack of clarity just does not help. I just wish they would come out, clean it up, and have one consistent, clear policy for everyone. So, I mean, everyone is a victim here. So it's not online versus offline at all in any way.
We might not have a debate at all because Kumar and you already agree. But Paresh, you're the only person who stands to make any money in this situation, right? Because you're the guy who helps both sides structure around the regulations, so to speak.
To add to the absurdities of the retail single brand or multi-brand trading rules, I must tell you that there is one more absurdity.
Okay.
As Kumar was saying, most retail groups internationally and India would like to go omni-channel, which means brick and mortar. You already pointed about e-commerce. They cannot do e-commerce if they get foreign money. They possibly also cannot do franchisee in the same business. Today, a retail company would like to own stores, would like to franchise stores, and would like to do online. So, unfortunately, the law says that you cannot have franchise and online doing if you have a MBRT or a multi-brand.
So, if you have a multi-brand retail business funded by FDI.
Yeah, then you cannot do franchise as well. So, that is one more absurdity.
Anyway, if I'm a manufacturer and I have a great product, t-shirts, and I have, let's say, foreign direct investment in my business, which manufacturing is allowed to do. Now, if I want to sell that product through my own stores and sell it online as well, are you saying I cannot do that?
So, first of all, if you have manufactured that product in the same company, you can take FDI as well as sell in your own store, as well as you can sell it online.
I can?
Yes, because then you fall under the manufacturing route for FDI.
Okay.
Only if you buy that product and sell it, only then you are retail.
Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that one. So if you were a manufacturer, you could do that.
Absolutely.
Now, I took the Marks and Spencer illustration. I'm given to understand that an entity like Marks and Spencer can open stores in India, but it cannot start a marksandspencer.in and sell its products online in India. But can it sell its products on a Snapdeal or a Flipkart or a Myntra or something like that?
I think they cannot, because the law clearly says that a single brand company cannot sell products through e-commerce means. So there is a challenge there as well.
Suppose so no e-commerce means. They cannot sell through any website.
They can possibly sell it to Paresh Parekh, and Paresh Parekh can then sell it on a website. So that structuring will be required.
Okay. If all of this is plagued with absurdity, then is there scope for brick and mortar retailers to say, look, we are the more aggrieved party here? Is there anyone who is hurt more? Because it seems to me that everybody is suffering because of this convoluted FDI policy.
So I think I'll have to bring you back to the original point that I said, is that when RAI has filed a petition here, it's not about just brick and mortar retail. I think we represent retailers. That's what the Retailers Association of India was created for.
But your petition specifically makes prayers for brick and mortar retail.
That is because of the fact that the law has been structured in a manner where the two are getting segregated.
Right.
So our initial part of the petition says, please create a policy that's going to be level playing field across channels. Very clearly. Our petition is referring to the so-called marketplace models. Our petition is not talking about retailer, whether it's online or offline. I don't think we can segregate them in any form.
But the so-called marketplace also, Kumar, is born out of FDI policy restrictions itself, right? It isn't as if e-commerce players have chosen marketplace over inventory models, because that's the business logic.
Sorry to interfere there, but I have a point there. There can be genuine marketplace players as well.
Yes, of course.
And some of them are, where they just provide a platform.
Right,
The sellers list themselves, the buyers, they have no influence on the price, and they are an exchange.
But you would agree that in India, most of them have been forced to adopt marketplace because there is no other option.
No, that's not really true, because see, one is, this is a new business model, just few years old. There is some evolution taking place. Changes in laws have done. So if you look at, for example, some of the large e-commerce players, they are true marketplaces only. You have multiple sellers, and it is not a matter of convenience or structuring or for the FDI policy. They do have multiple and really multiple sellers. Nobody is dominating seller as in 95% of the sales. So it is a true marketplace model.
But RAI is arguing that any marketplace model, whether out of choice or no choice, is illegal in the country.
No, not at all. What we are saying is that if it is a marketplace model, and if it has to be a true marketplace model, then it has to be a purely B2B kind of a concept. In which case we know that's a wholesale process. If it is B2C, okay, then
which
it
is what
retail.
most of these guys are, right? We are really not debating.
So listen to what Paresh is saying. So if somebody is participating in pricing of the product, they are taking part in discounting the product themselves, and they are saying that I am responsible for you. When they go online and then they say I am the largest online store in the country, when they go and advertise to the customer and say I am the largest,
I'll paraphrase for your comfort. All the marketplace models that exist today, where goods are sold to consumers, not to wholesalers or other businesses, in your argument, are illegal.
I think what RAI is trying to say is that let there be a level playing field.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just going to one point
it's
you made in
not to
that
ban about
condition.
marketplace. It's not
Well,
about
they
banning the
have called
marketplace.
the marketplace model illegal when it sells to consumers. They have said that there is no provision in the FDI policy for any website to sell directly to consumers.
Yeah, there isn't. Let's look at this whole multi-brand outlet concept that we are talking about all the time. What does the multi-brand outlet do? It's providing a platform for many of the manufacturers, sellers, resellers, whoever it is, to come and allow their products to be kept inside the store and sell it to consumers. In many of these cases, the stock is not even owned by them. So if somebody has opened up a large department store, if somebody has opened up a store like a Central, many of the products are not owned by them at all. It's being sold through concessionaires. So in which case, they should be taken as a marketplace, in which case we have to represent it as they are not retailers. Fact of the case is, if you are representing to the customers that I am the store, the customers always believe that you are the person who is selling to them. So then they are the retailer. Whether they have sold it online or offline is not the point. There is no
FDI
such thing.
policy is clear. 100% FDI permitted in B2B e-commerce only. Hence, it's clear that FDI can only be invited by a company involved in B2B e-commerce. Therefore, e-commerce by an Indian website or Indian company having a website hosted in India would be unable to execute B2C or C2C transactions if the company has FDI. E-commerce players are arranging affairs to circumvent regulations. These are all lines from your petition.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're saying the marketplace model is bogus.
Well, that's the way it's been structured.
In the
That's
light
a
of
fact.
current
That's
FDI
a fact.
policy, you're
Absolutely.
saying the marketplace model is bogus.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want Ganesh to come in on this. Is the marketplace model bogus, Ganesh?
No, I think we're confusing two different things here. The fact that there needs to be clarity in FDI policy and encouragement for 100% FDI to be allowed in multi-brand retail, all those points are well taken. On the marketplace model, if you take companies which are true marketplaces, they are technology service providers and software company. Just because you have a warehousing where you're consolidating supply or you're doing delivery, you're consolidating
But
delivery
if you're
logistics,
providing the
you're bringing
platform to
analytics
sell,
into place,
you're
in no
offering
way-
the
in no
payment
way makes it-
gateway,
No,
you're doing the
no, it doesn't
warehousing,
matter. No.
you're doing the
These are-
delivery and you're accepting the returns, then you're only a shade away from a real retailer at the end of the day,
you're
right?
stating that you are the
not
largest
true. These are
online
all-
store.
See, the only way you can bring efficiency is by consolidating. Okay, right? Just because I am a service provider, I am a technology company, I am able to consolidate supply and actually supply the last mile because I'm consolidating from multiple suppliers, does not make me non-compliant. Please understand, what is my business model? If my business model happens to be that I'm a technology system process service provider, I'm aggregating supply,
So
I'm providing
would-
warehousing facilities, still
Would you,
all of them are
would
technology
you
and
assert,
services.
Ganesh, would you assert that all the companies that are today selling via the marketplace model are legitimate marketplace, people?
Yes, wherever there is a marketplace model, it is not defined by are you delivering, are you accepting returns. Nowhere it says it's not a marketplace. I am a service
So,
provider.
Minka,
right?
our FDI
I'm a
policy is the
marketplace service
negative
provider.
list.
Okay, fine. Ganesh, I get the point.
Providing
I
the
get the point.
technology.
I get the point. I'm going to ask the expert
Minka,
here.
three points. First is our FDI policy is a negative policy. There are restrictions.
Okay, fine.
So it's
We've already
allowed.
established that.
Second is marketplace model is today as per the law permissible. There is no problem on that.
There is none.
There is none.
But
Third,
RAI in its petition says it's illegal.
no, I don't agree that as per today's regulations, marketplace model is not illegal. They are in compliance with the law.
So, Menka,
the
you
whole
have at
debate
least
is a
two
bit
of the three
broader.
people on the
It's
panel.
not shorter debate. It's what the law should be.
Okay.
Who are the players here? Let's check. What is the objection here? Farmers, small and medium suppliers. Why can't we have a policy which supports Make in India? Why can't we?
I will come to that. Paresh, I'm just asking you one simple question right now. Is marketplace legal?
Completely
legal.
yes. You can structure your business operations legally.
Then you have your answer.
As per the
your assertion in the
Our
petition
assertion
is
in the
that
petition
it is illegal.
Our assertion in the petition is that the spirit of the law is not getting
I-
maintained.
Minka, allow me to say on their behalf,
our-
retail has been used in two contexts. Retail, as per FDI definition, they are in compliance. Retail, when you take from broader spirit, you yourself said payment gateway, everything else is done except raising the last invoice on the customer. The context is the larger context. That is where word
Okay,
retail gets misunderstood.
I'll tell you one thing. I have seen brick and mortar retail structures, okay, that attempt to circumvent the spirit of the regulation. And let's be honest, right? That's exactly what happened in the early days of multi-brand retail in the country. I have also seen the marketplace argument seeming a little hollow. Can you tell me if any of these guys are able to adhere to the actual spirit of the FDI regulation?
And that is why I said in letter they are all compliant as per the present policy.
In spirit, many of them on both sides would not.
There's nothing called spirit.
I want to ask you this, Kumar. Are you really worried about the legality or the illegality of the marketplace? Or are you mostly only worried about the business impact on brick and mortar retailers? Because your petition says this: e-commerce is having a debilitating effect on retail in the physical world. Encouragement only to e-commerce without supporting the retail business would warp the entire market, leading to closure of physical retail spaces and monopolization of the retail sector by e-commerce.
Yes,
now, that worry today doesn't seem substantiated because e-commerce is less than 1%, I'm told, of India's retail market, right? So it seems to me it's more the fear of what this will do to your business that's bothering you than the fear of whether marketplace is truly within the spirit of the law or not.
So I think I'll have to go back to exactly the thing that I started at the start of the session. Start of the session I stated that retail is about online as well as offline, and we maintain that all through. So I don't think you should every time segregate brick and mortar, although we've talked about brick and mortar in our petition.
But that's the petition.
We've
that's
talked about that.
You have filed in the Delhi High Court.
That we've kept because of the fact that there is so much of segregation that's there in the law that seems to warp the whole thing towards just an e-commerce player, including the discussions that's happening is about allowing FDI only for e-commerce and not for the others, because the government seems to have taken a position, and for that position that the government is taken, we have to come back to them and tell them, listen, please allow the whole thing to get onto FDI or create rules that will make sure that everybody is on a level playing field. The whole context in which we've come on to this is about a level playing field between all channels.
At the top level, I agree with the fact that we need to have uniform rules, we need to have good rules and all of that stuff. But that the retailers, brick and mortar retailers will suffer, will close down, all that is incorrect, because if you see the evolution of e-commerce in the last 1 year at least, there is a lot of convergence happening. Big Basket, for example, we are enabling 1800 Kirana stores for 1 hour delivery. And the Kirana stores are getting the benefit of technology, apps, the inventory management system, all of that to deliver. So it is even in our interest, which is the e-commerce player's interest, that
Ganesh, do you have foreign direct investment in bigbasket.com?
Actually thrive. Okay, right? So it is
Ganesh, do you have foreign direct do you have foreign direct investment in bigbasket.com?
Yeah, we do.
You do, right? Yeah. So you're are you selling your groceries as branded or unbranded?
No. The point here is in terms of the context of this particular discussion, I think there are two parts of it. One is there needs to be clear guidelines. There needs to be
So none of us disagree with you on that. Sector. Are you selling your groceries branded or unbranded?
Including both the offline as well as e-commerce. We need clarity on this.
All right, gentlemen, hold your thoughts for a bit because we're going to go into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we'll talk about the feasibility of a uniform policy applying to both brick and mortar and e-commerce. That's up next on The Firm.